Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Microsoft Pulse, where we go into what's new on the roadmap so you don't have to. Joining us today is Tom Duff, and I'm Tamara Bredemus. Adam and Jennifer are out today, so it's just the Tam Tom show. So let's go ahead and get started. Tom, do you want to kick us off with in development? These are things that are not ready for prime time that Microsoft is working on.
Sure. So one of the things that Microsoft is announcing due out in November this month is 3 new SharePoint site templates. So they're dedicated to helping you create sites for your HR department to showcase events and a template powered by Microsoft Syntex to do contract management. I think this is great. It's coming out to worldwide GCC, GCC High, and DoD. The Syntex one I think is interesting because Syntex is a paid feature. And you just know somebody's going to install the Simplex template and they're going to go, oh, this is cool. Oh, how do we get this? And then you've got discussions about how much it's going to cost. And I vaguely remember last time I looked at the pricing, it's not inexpensive. So it's interesting that they're putting a template out there that will start to possibly drive some adoption into the Syntex arena, which, like I say, overall is good. It's just I find it interesting that they're taking that approach on it. And then one other one, Microsoft Teams, view meeting transcripts on Microsoft Teams on Android and iOS for government. So this is GCC, GCC High, and DoD. And using your Android or your iOS device, you'll be able to read the meeting transcripts where to date, you've only been able to do that in the commercial client. So look for that. That's December of this year.
Great. I wanted to talk about a couple different things. One is Microsoft 365 Admin Center targeted release for GCC High, and DoD customers. I'm really impressed with this because what it means is that those customers, GCC High, DoD, will be able to opt into the targeted release and get early access for OneDrive for Business, SharePoint Online, Outlook on the web, and the Microsoft 365 Admin Center features. So I'm excited about that. That's due out in November. So we
It's
should see it
interesting
before the end of the year.
because usually they have much more testing on that side. I'm surprised they're opening
Yes.
it up for target release to that particular customer base.
So am I. But
There you
what
go.
this will do is so Microsoft releases it, and then the overarching programs have to go through and make sure that it's okay for use within GCC, GCC
Right.
High, and DoD. So this will give them more time. So we'll get
Good
a
point.
little more parity with the not consumer, commercial, the commercial
Worldwide.
instance.
Cool.
And then also custom calendars in Project for the web. So with custom calendars in Project for the web, you can now specify your team's working days for higher customizability and more accurate scheduling. So I was excited about that. And then lastly, I was excited about language interpretation for GCC High and DoD. So language interpretation will allow language interpreters to translate what the speaker says into another language in real time without disrupting the original flow of delivery of the speaker. This will allow more inclusive meetings where participants who may not speak the same language can fully collaborate with each other. To me, this is the United Nations with everybody with their headsets on and getting that real time translation. So
Well,
I think
especially,
that's awesome.
I was going to say, especially in government
Yes.
tenants where you may think, oh, government, that's US. Well, it's US, but then it's embassies and all these
Mm-hmm.
other things potentially where you could have non-native speakers participating in stuff in a country that isn't the US. So I think this is a really good way to start to bring that inclusivity into the different environments that Microsoft is reaching out to. I'll go ahead and mention a couple things real quickly. I'm not going to go into
Okay.
depth on any of them because they are not my purview. Foreshadowing.
I see what you did there.
Microsoft Purview, eDiscovery Premium. If you are into that, definitely take a look at the roadmap. They've come out with a number of things for in development, like list collection and job usability enhancements, new case creation wizards, both for worldwide and for the government, and a job report for the US government clouds. So they're doing a lot of that stuff. Again, those are premium e-discovery things. So it may not apply to you in all cases. But again, if this is the world that you live in, definitely take a look at the roadmap because there are some changes coming through that may be something that you really want to work with.
Right. Let's move on to rolling out. Rolling out means it is starting to go into the tenants, but it may not be in your tenant. So here's something to get excited about. Go ahead, Tom. Where do you want to start?
So the first one, it's probably the one that makes me most excited because much like you, I don't get out of the house very often. And that is out. And for those of you who wonder, her and I are married. So when I say we don't get out of the house very often, I know that we don't get out of the house very often. Outlook for Windows, signature cloud settings. Your signature settings, yes, are stored in the cloud. So your experience is consistent when you access Outlook for Windows on any computer. This feature has been delayed and will only be available in beta channel.
But it is rolling out. So I think that's an old
Okay,
thing.
that would be great. I have wanted this for so long because I happen to run both the Outlook client and Outlook for the web. And whenever I do a signature change, I need to go make it in both sides because they're stored in different places. I will be so happy when I can put it in one location and I don't have to worry about synchronizing both of them up. This is really cool. One other little one that's out there, Microsoft Teams unread toggle on activity feed. So if you're used to using the activity feed in Teams, you can now say, oh, only show me items that I haven't read. What's nice is I think they've already got something out there though, where you can turn something in your activity feed back to unread. So you can kind of use that as a, hey, there's some things out there I still need to go look at.
So it's
S-
available right now for commercial, but it's coming out for GCC High, GCC, and DoD.
right. So keep an eye open for that. That will be coming or should be coming to a client near you soon, November.
Right. Also, the modern meeting experience on the web. So if you have to join a lot of meetings in different tenants that are in different, I don't know what they call them, clouds, in different clouds, like the GCC cloud, the
Right.
GCC High, and the DoD cloud, you have to join in the browser, which is very disappointing because you don't get all the bells and whistles that you get by joining on the desktop. So the modern meeting and calling experience will be available for Teams on the web in Chrome and Edge browsers, including the improved pre-join and dynamic view and the updated control bar. I am so excited for this. And this is coming out to everybody, GCC High, GCC, DoD, and worldwide.
Yeah, I think
Very excited about this.
yeah, the more they can do to make the experience, maybe not the entire feature set, but at least the experience overall
Mm-hmm.
become very close from the web to the client is always a huge positive in my book. I know they've been doing more, hey, we're going to make Outlook on the web look a little bit different, which is going to make it look a little bit more like Outlook client. And again, for people who are trying to make the jump from one to the other, um, yeah, if everything's in the same place and you've got some of the same functionality out there, it makes it a whole lot easier. So that's a good
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Another thing to be excited about, Adobe PDF experience in Microsoft Teams. So before you would click on a PDF and it would open a blank screen. I'm like, that's a delightful user experience. So now tenant admins can set Adobe Acrobat as the default app in Teams Admin Center to view and edit PDF files in Microsoft Teams. Now, this is
Awesome.
only rolling out to worldwide. It's not coming to GCC, GCC High, or DoD, but it is something to get excited about and salivate over for those other tenants.
Very cool.
So, very excited about that. Anything else you want to bring up, Tom?
No, I'd be willing to go on to launch now.
All right, launched. You should be seeing this in your tenant. What do you got, Tom?
So there's a couple here that are both Microsoft Teams related, and that is music on hold for voice over IP calls and regular telephone network systems, consult and transfer. This is applicable to DoD and GCC High. The other ones already have it. And then there's another one, music on hold for just call transfer. And that is for GCC, DoD, worldwide, and GCC High. So this basically is allow music to be played either on hold when a call is transferred or a call transfer is initiated, or it can be played for voice over IP calls placed on hold, as well as VoIP and VoIP and PSTN consult and transfer scenarios. I think this is wonderful because there's nothing worse as a person on the other end of the line when somebody says, "Here, let me transfer you," click.
And it goes dark.
Yeah, and I'm like, was that click you're no longer on the call? Or is that click you're waiting in the dark ether? You don't know. Where at least if there's music, it's like, well, I'm connected to somebody. So I think the fact that they're allowing that in more scenarios now is a good thing.
You know what I would like to have?
So,
Now that we have music for hold messaging, I just want a button in a meeting called pre-show music.
yes.
And it could be like the music that you listen to when you're waiting for like a conference call to connect. And I don't care if it's the same music for every single one, but just to have that pre-show music so people can check their speakers,
Yes.
I think would be fabulous, which is why I always do a countdown
Mm-hmm.
for people waiting in my meetings. But gosh, it would be so nice to have the music.
At least to make it easier. I mean, you can kind of fake it by saying, well, if I'm going to have like a
Share my screen and share my
PowerPoint
center.
slide deck, it's good. You can get there.
Yeah, but it's not pretty.
It's not. And I remember there used to be a group called Unity IT that would have conferences or seminars and stuff. And they had a 3-song playlist. One was Better Together, one was Happy, and I don't remember what the third one was, but it's like, can you just do like an hour meeting where you start your playlist and you do nothing for that hour except play that playlist? Because this playlist makes me excessively happy. No pun intended. Yeah, I'm just like, God, can we just listen to this over and over and over again? But yeah, it would be nice to be able to have something like that. Hey, Microsoft Feedback Portal.
There you go. Microsoft Viva focus mode in Viva Insights. So focus time experience in Microsoft Teams is being enhanced for users with Viva Insights subscriptions. Focus plan users will gain access to focus mode experience. Focus mode will allow users, oh, this isn't rolling out. Sorry, people, I went back one. The green and the blue are so close.
Oh.
They're so close. Focus mode will allow users to set a timer to balance short bursts of productivity with breaks, manage their task lists, and tap into mindfulness exercises during their work day. That was rolling out in October. You should see it now. So,
Now would you like to talk something that is launched?
In the actual launch, I would like to talk about something. So ServiceNow is a new-ish, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years old, maybe,
Something like that, yeah.
ticketing system that is pretty robust and has really gained a huge following. And now there's a Microsoft Graph connector So ServiceNow Tickets Graph Connector will index incident tickets from ServiceNow into Microsoft Search and allow users to query them from SharePoint, Microsoft Bing, Office.com, Microsoft Teams, and the Windows search box. I think that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And should really be looked into by anybody who is using ServiceNow. Talk about making it so much easier for your users to find their tickets.
Exactly.
And see what's going on with their tickets. I think that's brilliant. And then also account switching in the Office mobile apps. So with account switching, users can switch from one account to another through the profile icon and have a single account view throughout the app. This makes me happy because I have like 4 accounts. So this makes me very happy to be able to do this on mobile.
Yeah, I know that particular entry when it started to come out and be talked about. The consultants that we know and work with, Microsoft colleagues, thought this was like the best thing since sliced bread because of just that thing. They have, 14 different clients and they're switching back and forth, and it was a real pain for them. Where now this makes it a whole lot easier. So good stuff.
True, true. And then finally, bookings, follow-up reminders. So you can configure post-appointment reminders to customers, and that launched in October of this year. Launched to the worldwide standard multi-tenant, not to GCC, GCC High, DoD. And then, did you have anything else in launch you wanted to talk about?
No, I was going to go ahead and take canceled.
Let's hit canceled.
Okay, here we go. There's only 3 items in canceled this week. 2 of them are duplicates, which means that they're going to be done. They're just going to be done under a different number. One was Microsoft Teams RTMP-N for Teams live events, and Microsoft Viva Focus Mode and Viva Insights. You're still getting both of those. Again, just under a different number. They're cleaning things up. The one that I'm a little bummed out about is that Microsoft Teams automatically ends stale Teams meetings. So this was a feature that was basically going to say the meeting's ended. There's still that one person who went off and did something else. They're still in the meeting. The meeting is recording. And because there's still somebody in the meeting, it hasn't dropped it and done the recording yet. This feature was supposed to go out to say if a user is the sole participant in a meeting that has been identified as stale, the user will see a dialog prompting to end the call or dismiss the notification. If no action is taken, the meeting will automatically end. This feature is being reworked and is canceled. I hope it's being reworked and will be launched again because that sounded like such a great thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why they had to rework it. I can imagine there's probably a number of edge cases where people are like, you dropped my meeting and I was in the middle of something, or, I had sent everybody out on a 10-minute break and nobody was doing anything and they came back
you
and
got that dismiss sign. You can
yeah,
that.
meeting, poof, it's closed. So yeah, there were probably some reasons for that. But again, I think it's a great feature. I'm hoping it comes back, but for right now, it's being reworked and this particular entry is being canceled. So. And that just about does it.
Fabulous. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of The Pulse. Join us next week when we'll have back Jennifer and Adam.
We hope.
And so we'll have the full meal deal. All right. Thanks so much for joining and have a great day.
Bye, everyone.